So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, I've got some unbelievable news. And some news which I'm gonna make this video, and I want to have a chat with you guys about it. Demetrius Andrade has pulled out of the Zach Parker fight. There was no one that put a bid in the purse bid. Frank Warren put in a bid of $305,000 or pounds or whatever he put in, and Demetrius Andrade is not going ahead with it. Obviously, the purse bid would have meant that Andrade would have hardly got much money, but Andre's obviously pulled out because he probably thinks it just doesn't make financial sense. So the stuff about him wanting to become mandatory, it was never about that. It was about the money. He thought that financially was going to get paid a lot more money to fight Zach Parker, or roughly, even if it was the same. He felt that the Janabek fight was probably a lot more dangerous than the Zach Parker fight. Hence, he chose Zach Parker. But basically there was no one that put a bid in for that fight. So Frank Warren probably knew that, so he put in a low bid, and that meant that Andrade was hardly going to get paid. I mean, at this point, like, I know you guys don't like, or some of you guys don't like Andrade, and you're going to criticize him. At this point, I've criticized. I'm past it. I mean, it's embarrassing at this point. Like, Andrade's become a sideshow. Some people say, oh, Andrade's heartless and Andrade's this, Andrade's that. Andrade's become a bit of a joke, if we're honest. He's become a bit of a joke. And I don't think I can think of a fighter that has been more badly mismanaged than Demetrius Andrade. I mean, there's been fighters like Kell Brook, but the difference is with Kell made a lot of money, I don't even think this guy's made. I think he's made good money. I think he was with DAZN. Eddie paid him pretty well, so I do think he's made money. But I can't believe that this man has been in boxing for so long, and he's never managed to get even a respectable name in the ring with him. I mean, I'm not even saying elite fighter. I'm talking respectable, world-class level fighter. I mean, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. It's unthinkable. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't want to sit here and criticize him when we do it all the time. We laugh and this, that, the other, but this is not good for boxing. I mean, this is a guy that his whole career went without getting a big fight. Whatever we can say, oh, he ducked and this, that, and the other, but let's stop criticizing for a sec. But just think about this, that this is boxing. I made a video yesterday about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. That fight's not happening. Demetrius Andrade, he hasn't managed to ever get a fight of any note, and he was somebody that we wanted to see in a recognized fight. We've not managed to do. No one's managed to deliver. He's now at a stage in his career where he's 35 years of age. No one wants to take him on. No promoter wants to take him on because he hasn't really got a name. He doesn't really move the needle. He doesn't really bring anything. I mean, what does he bring? Nothing. He doesn't have a name. 1 minute he's calling out Eubank, then he's saying he's going to fight Zach Parker, then he's saying I don't want to fight Janabek, or he doesn't take the Janabek fight, then he says I'm going to fight Zach Parker, then Frank Warren puts in a bid for 305,000, and he's backed himself into a corner so badly now that he basically lost. I think he's lost his middleweight title, so he has got no title, right? He now has a situation where he got offered a low ball of basically $305,000, and he's pulled out of that, which means that financially he wasn't happy with what he was getting, which Frank Warren was going to do that because Zach Parker and Andrade isn't a big fight. It's not a big fight in the UK. It doesn't move the needle. No one's going to put in big money for that if they don't need to. And Frank Warren knew that he had no one competing with him. So Andrade's whole career is a disaster. I mean, the people that have been managing Demetrius Andrade, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's been a total shambles. It's been shambolic. I mean, from start to, he's 35. It's just been shambolic. I mean, I don't know how Demetrius Andrade sleeps well at night. I mean, A guy that was fairly talented. I mean, I saw this guy lighting Keith Thurman up in as an amateur. I mean, a relatively talented. I'm not saying he was a Floyd. He was not he wasn't on that level. But what I mean is he was still a quality fighter. I mean, he was still. I feel like he was a world-class fighter. But he never fought anybody. I mean, he never got an opportunity. Like, we don't even know how good this guy was. I mean, this is boxing for you. This is boxing. I mean, sometimes we don't get big fights. Then we have situations like Demetrius Andrade will be an example in the future of somebody that never managed to get a fight. Now, Rick Glazer and these guys going on and saying Andrade is heartless. Maybe. Maybe Andrade he's okay being like this. I don't know. I don't know what goes through Demetrius Andrade's head, but at this point, I just feel sorry for the guy. I don't know whether to feel sorry for him. I don't know. Frank Warren said the other day he's going to pull out the fight, so he already knew that Andrade had no intention of taking his fight because the offer made no financial sense. I actually spoke to Christian, who we know. Christian's a big Andrade fan, and even Christian said, I think if he doesn't sign with the PBC, I think he needs to retire. Because even if you're the biggest hardcore Andrade fan, I mean, at this point, I mean, it's becoming embarrassing. He's becoming a laughingstock in that sense. Because 1 minute you're saying, I don't want to fight Janabek. Then you're saying, I want to fight Zach Parker. And then you pull out the Zach Parker fight because the money's just not good. So at this point, he's only got one option, which I agree with Christian, to sign with PBC because that's where the big fights are. But it's been a total shambolic job. It's been horrible. I mean, whoever's been doing, yeah, it's sad. It's sad for Andrade because I think his career is gonna. I won't be surprised if he retires. I won't be surprised if Demetrius Andrade retires from boxing because at this point, if he genuinely is trying to make a big fight, and it's just not happening for him, you lose. I mean, he must be so demotivated. Like, I would just say, forget it, man. I can't be arsed anymore. I can't be arsed with this. I'm 35 years of age, man. Just get me a couple of knockover jobs. I'm done. Or I'm done, man. I made enough money. Let's go into real estate or let's go into something else. I mean, I'm bored of this. I'm tired of this. You know, he made some good money under Hearn. Hearn overpaid him. I think he was lucky because I think at that time DAZN were coming in, so they needed some fighters. So Demetrius Andrade benefited from that because Eddie Hearn paid him well. So he made some good money. I think in that period when he was with Hearn, I think he made some nice money. You know, but I mean, without securing a big fight. And Eddie Hearn gets you big fights. I mean, Eddie Hearn delivers big fights, and Eddie Hearn couldn't deliver him a big fight. Total shit show, I would say. You know, it's shambolic, man. It's shambolic. This isn't good for boxing. I know some of you are going to troll Andrade, but this isn't good for boxing, guys. This is not good. You know, when we look at the bigger picture, there's going to be another Demetrius Andrade in the boxing world. Trust me. Boxing is very political. I mean, we look at guys like Canelo, who have worked very hard but are stars. But then you look at guys like Demetrius Andrade. It's just not happened. I mean, he's not got the star power. He hasn't got. But surely, for me, this isn't a failure of his team. It's a failure of his team not delivering for him, and it's a failure of his team not being able to provide him bigger opportunities financially, which they would have benefited from. But this is a failure of boxing, guys. This is a failure of boxing because there was a guy that was relatively talented, and he never managed to get a shot. He never managed to get big fights. I mean, he's 35 now. And we're going to be saying, what if Andrade had fought Canelo? What if Andrade had fought Charlo? What would have happened if Andrade had fought Benavidez? What would have happened if Andrade had fought XYZ? You know? And that's what it comes down to. It's sad for the sport of boxing. I'm telling you, this isn't about trolling Andrade. This is about us thinking that we're boxing fans and this is what's happening in our sport. A total shambolic situation. This man's whole career has gone by. I mean, and he's not managed to really get the big fights. It's shambolic. I mean, it's a disaster for our sport, and his career for me is as good as over. I said it a while back. I think his career is over now, Andrade. I can't see. I feel like Andrade, look, you don't even see him giving many interviews anymore. You saw him doing that embarrassing call out thingy to Eubank, but apart from that, because I think he's had enough. I think he's probably had enough. Maybe he can't be asked anymore. I mean, I don't know how he must be feeling. I don't know how he must be feeling. We don't know how frustrated somebody may be. Like, imagine if you've been trying something your whole life and it's just not working out for you. Like, this guy's been pro for so long, over a decade, and it's just not working out for him. I mean, he must be so frustrated. He's just not he can't catch a break. I mean, but at the same time, he's probably made wrong decisions and poor decisions. His team maybe around him, maybe he hasn't got the right people around. I don't know. Whatever it is, but it's been a total crap show. That's what we can say. He pulls out of the Zach Parker fight. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.